Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is Alan Watts. And if we could slap a title on his message for today, it would be something about a racing mind. My mind is racing. Is that an expression, an experience that you are familiar with, having a racing mind? Honey, a very good morning. Happy Saturday to you. So good to see you, Leanne. Good morning. Happy Saturday. When we have a really busy mind, the worst thing that we can do is add more thinking to this busy mind. Hey, somebody, happy Saturday. Anxiety and stress is associated with racing thought, which is a high and fast brainwave state. In this mind space, we often struggle to think clearly. And if we're being faced with getting serious work done, or even worse, trying to deal with existential life issues, then the spinning nature of thousands of thoughts per second make finding solutions almost impossible. And then the all too often conclusion to our lack of finding answers is that we need to think harder. And I still find myself now and then fall into the same trap of not really realizing that too much is happening, too much is going on. I'm trying to think, I'm not getting to what I'm trying to get at. And there's a subconscious decision being made that sounds something like, just think better. Can you see how this is pouring fuel on the fire? When we try and outthink an already busy mind. When our solution to too many thoughts is to add even more thinking. The brain science on this is clear. Every time we do this, it drives our brain in only one direction, even higher and faster brain waves. It's really obvious, isn't it? What we need in these moments is to go in the opposite direction, away from the head and into the body. Alan Watts speaks about this. He says, to go out of your mind at least once a day is tremendously important. By going out of your mind, you come to your senses. By going out of your mind, you come to your senses. I love the description so much. A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts, thinking about thinking. So he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusion. When you deliberately redirect your thinking away from just being in your head down into what your body is feeling, your brain waves don't have much of a choice but to slow down. Your brain will naturally want to get right back to busy thoughts, but you can take some control of that by continuing to explore what each of your senses are feeling, and perhaps even cycle through them a few times until your thoughts become slower. Taking a break from what you're dealing with, dropping out of your mind and into your senses, will enable you to get back to whatever needs to get done with just a little bit more calm and clarity. This is, of course, our journey today. Come to your senses. Go out of your mind to come to your senses. So if you're ready, you can close your eyes and let's float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. As you breathe out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and drop your head. And as our journey today is a journey of our physical body, we'll start checking in with every part of our body right now. While you continue your full body breathing, with your next exhale, bring your attention to your forehead, the space between your eyes. Are you holding a frown there, or have you completely softened? With your next exhale, bring your attention to the space in and around your mouth. Do you sometimes find yourself grinding your teeth? Do you sometimes find your tongue pressed hard against the roof of your mouth? Or your jaw muscles clenched? For this moment, are you able to soften everything there? With your next exhale, check in with your shoulders. Do you sometimes find your shoulders pulled up high, almost level with your ears? And in this moment, are you able to keep them softened and hanging loosely and easily off the sides of your body? With your next exhale, check in with your stomach area. Bring your attention to your abdominal muscles. Tension hides most easily in that space. For the moment, are your abs completely softened? With your next exhale, bring your attention to your butt cheeks. Are you clenching? Or are you completely softened? And then lastly, check in with your arms and legs, specifically your hands. Do you sometimes find them in tightly balled fists? And for the moment, are your hands lying half open in your lap? We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, continuing to help our bodies stretch and adjust and settle down. Take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles, going forward and to the left, and also forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. You can lean your upper body over to the left and also lean your upper body over to the right. Leaning into your back muscles, finding where the edges are and gently leaning into those spaces. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, as much as we are able to do at least, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is a really good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, then with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in. and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, feel into your body and feel softness slip into every part of your body. Take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. As you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. But hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, really drop from your head into this body and say, hello, body. It really is good to have you. Take your next big breath. journey of the senses starts at the top and works its way through our bodies. Our first stop, of course, is your eyes. For this exercise, we keep them closed. But then just imagine what you would see if you were to open them. And then use your mind to see all of the detail. So with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, if you were to open your eyes, what would be the most obvious thing that you would see? And now, with your eyes closed, study this obvious thing. See it from all of its angles, see all of its color, and find all of its texture. Take your next big breath. Then we'll change gears, and with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, we're still staying with what we can see, but this time, what would be the least obvious thing that you would see if you were to open your eyes? And as you take a deep breath and dive deep inside, use your mind to study that less obvious thing. See all of its detail, find all of its color, and all of its texture. Take your next big breath. Take a moment to thank your eyes for the experience they give you. Then we'll take a step down to our ears and what it is that we can hear. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, bring your attention to the most obvious sound that you can find, and listen deep into this obvious sound. Can you find different layers to this obvious sound? Take your next big breath. Then changing gears, With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, bring your attention to the least obvious sound that you can find. Something that's barely a whisper, but by being intentional, you can just hear it. Take your next big breath. Take a moment to thank your ears for the experience they provide you. Then we take another step downwards, and for the next 2 stops, change your breathing to whatever works for you, whatever it is that helps you be able to smell and taste. So with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, bring your attention to what you can smell. Is there any obvious smell that you are able to find right now? Take your next big breath. And then we'll change gears with your next big breath as you dive deep into you. See if you're able to find any other smell at all. Take your next big breath. Thank your nose for the experience it provides you. Then we take another step down to what you can taste, and with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, bring your attention to whatever taste you are able to find right now. Take your next big breath. Then changing gears with your next big breath as you dive deep into you. Are you able to find any other taste at all? Anything else beside the first obvious taste? Take your next big breath. Thank your mouth and thank your taste buds for the experience they provide you. Then our last stop is the surface of your skin. Scan the surface of your skin from top to bottom and find where on the surface of your skin is the most obvious sensation. And as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, see how much you can find to describe in that place of obvious sensation. Find the different pressures, the different textures. Take your next big breath. And for the last time, change gears to finding the least obvious sensation on the surface of your skin. Where on your skin can you find the slightest sense of touch? Take your next big breath. Thank your skin for the experience it provides you. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies slip out of the breath-holding space and into the next. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it the longest, slowest exhale possible. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, Feel how softness settles in every fiber of your being. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back, or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. So often when we have these racing thoughts, these busy minds, stress, anxiety in a high, fast brainwave state, so often we react to that by trying to think harder, think better, think clearer thoughts. And every time we add more thoughts on already busy thinking, it's like adding fuel to the fire. We only drive the brainwaves up higher and faster. We need to walk for a moment in the opposite direction, from the busy mind into the body. Alan Watts says to go out of your mind at least once a day is tremendously important. By going out of your mind, you come to your senses. A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. Thinking about thinking. So he loses touch with reality and he lives in a world of illusion. When you deliberately redirect your thinking away from just being in your head down into what your body is feeling, then your brain waves don't have much of a choice but to slow down and follow. Your brain will naturally want to get right back to thinking busy thoughts, but you can take some control of that by continuing to explore what each of your senses are feeling, and perhaps even cycle through them a few times until your thoughts become slower. Every time you take a break from what you're dealing with, dropping out of your mind and into your senses, it will enable you to then get back to whatever needs to get done with a little bit more calm and clarity. So following the advice of Alan Watts, remember to go out of your mind at least once a day. We'll take the last few big breaths together. 5 breaths of gratitude. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this amazing body with all of its inner and outer senses. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for having created the habit of getting out of my mind and into my body regularly. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for the reminder to recognize the moments where I have these busy racing thoughts, and in that moment remember that more thinking is not going to help. Drop from your head into your body, out of your mind and into your senses. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to become a better operator of this amazing body. Understanding the user manual a little bit better. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for going out of your minds along with us. Pepe, good evening to you. Awesome seeing you. Hello. Maggie, so good to see you. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Leanne, thank you for having popped in, even though you were only able to stay for a short while. Anthony, a good evening. Awesome seeing you, man. Thank you, Sunlight, and whoever else might be in the background that I can't see right now. Have a great Saturday. Have a good weekend. Remember to have some fun as well. Rest, but also have fun. See you again soon. Ciao, ciao.